Well, we are back here at the coffee bar at Webster Hall. Madonna, can we see your shoes for a minute? These are now, these are shoes.
They don't go with the outfit, I know, but
There's some shoes for you.
they went with my blue nightgown I had on.
Be sure to talk into the mic.
Oops, I'm sorry. They go with my blue nightgown that
Now,
I
is
had
this
on
something
earlier.
you actually wear? Do you own lots of pajamas? Are you a pajama person?
I do I have lots of pajamas, but it depends on the mood. You know, there's the pajamas I wear when I'm alone, and there's the pajamas I wear when I'm
Or those would be
not
different kinds of
alone.
pajamas, you're saying?
And then there's the pajamas I don't wear.
Oh, wow. Maybe we'll
So-
see them later.
Yes.
As we were talking up there, you definitely have the role in Evita now. Could you tell me what interests you about Evita so much? She was the wife of a dictator. They both seem a little nuts.
Yes,
what's
truly.
the psychology that drew you to this?
Well, I think she is a truly fascinating woman, and I think that I think it's really unusual that a woman in a Latin American culture, not Latin American, Latin cultures are traditionally very, very macho, very male-oriented, that a woman could rise to such power and have such effect on a nation, not even the whole world, you know. And she's a truly kind of like psychotic, fascinating individual because, you know, the reasons. I mean, yes, it was a dictatorship, you know, the Peronist
Definitely.
regime, and she did do a lot of shopping. But I think her shoe collection rivaled Imelda's, but
Now, what was the idea behind this, the bedtime story party? Why get everyone out here at midnight dressed in pajamas? Just a whim? Or?
well, it's just better than your usual, like, put the video out on MTV kind of album promotion.
Although that's enjoyable,
whatever.
too.
Yes,
Sure.
it is. It is, but it's just something different. Another good excuse to have a party.
And you're going to be reading a bedtime story. Is this something that
Yeah.
was particularly important to you as a kid?
No, actually. Most of the bedtime stories that I heard when I was younger, my father made up.
Oh.
But this story, I happened to have read it about 3 weeks ago, coincidentally, and I thought it was really beautiful.
Is it
The
metaphorical in
sentiment.
any way? Does
Yes, it's called Miss Spider's Tea Party, and Miss Spider's Tea Party. It's I think the metaphor is that you can't judge someone until you know them.
That's so true.
Yes, it is.
I think we'll learn something from this.
Hopefully.
Now, the video, which we'll be seeing soon here on
Yeah.
MTV, is an amazing piece of work. You give birth to a flock of pigeons or something. What's going on in that
Doves, white doves.
video? Doves, whatever.
That
This is New
symbolize
York, they're
peace.
pigeons.
Yeah. What's going on
Yeah,
in the video?
it seems
or-
very metaphorical also.
It is. It's like it's a surrealistic kind of landscape. It's like a dream.
Yeah.
You know. I mean, when you have a dream, you know, when you wake up the next morning and you're like, God,
It's sweating and
weird things were
fearful.
happening, and grass was growing out of my tennis shoe, and then I saw that person, but their head was on backwards. I mean, like weird stuff happens in your dreams. I mean, in my
That's true.
dreams anyway.
Now, do you march into the director and say, I had this idea for a video in which all this stuff's going on, or did you?
Well, I worked with Mark Romanek before. He did the Rain video, and we pretty much sat down. And when he heard my album
Yeah.
before it was even released, he said, "I have to do the video to Bedtime Story. So whenever it's released, I want to do it." I said, "Okay," and he had some ideas. The original ideas sprang from 3 female surrealist painters, Remedios Avaros, Frida Kahlo, and Leonora Carrington.
Oh.
So that's where the original germ of the idea came from. And you know Frida Kahlo's
Yeah.
paintings, right? I mean, they're very female. All of the women did a lot of weird self-portraits,
Yes.
portraying themselves in pain, giving birth. They're very feminine. Not feminine in a demure way, but
Yeah.
like there's a lot of symbolic stuff in the videos, like eggs and you know, at one point I'm pregnant and doves fly out of my stomach,
Yeah.
and I think it's from a woman's perspective.
Did it make you, when Take a Bow went to #1, making you the all-time record holder among women for #1 record, even eclipsing that Houston girl?
Right.
Did that make you, like, happy?
That's an understatement. Extremely.
Was there a party at your house, or?
No, I don't think there was a party at my house, because when I found out, I think I was on my way to Europe or something.
Oh.
I'm not really sure.
Are you going to be out of action for the next year or so making this movie?
You mean to the public eye?
Yeah.
Well, pretty much. I mean, I have another video to do, and I mean, I really do want to. I want to go on tour. Believe me, I'm dying to perform this record.
Yeah.
But, sorry about that. I have to keep this popsicle up near my mouth. But I've been waiting 5 years for this role, and I am not going to screw it up. You know, I need to.
So there's a possibility we might not see you on tour, you're saying?
I think there's a possibility that would be after I shot the movie.
Okay. Well, would it be another extravaganza sort of tour? Would it be like Madonna with a guitar, folky kind of
Madonna
thing?
Unplugged?
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's a thought.
There is a thought, but I don't know. I've entertained that thought, but I think it only for a moment.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be here. We're enjoying your pajama
And
party.
I'm very happy that you wore your pajamas.
Thank you.
I was certain that you wouldn't show up in them.
Oh, well, I did.
I thought she was a girl. I was sure she was a girl. He had a sex change. I thought she was a girl. I was sure she was a girl.
Welcome back to Madonna's bedtime story pajama party. Quite a scene we have here. Thanks for being here. It's going to be quite a night. Madonna's going to be out here. She's going to read a bedtime story. We're going to see her new video, which is an amazing piece of work. For those just tuning in to the Madonna saga, we've taken a bunch of her videos over the last 12 years and mixed them together into a mega mix. Here it is. Take a look.
Let's get to it. Strike a pose. There's nothing to it. a bedtime story. I can't hear me either. All right, so you have to be really quiet, all right? Please. If I can get... All right, I'm going to read you all a bedtime story. Okay? But you have to be quiet, all right? If I can get 1,500 people to be quiet. What? All right, shut up over there. All right, so tonight I'm going to read you Miss Spider's Tea Party. No, you can't scream. If you scream, I can't read the book, all right? I beg of you. If you guys can be quiet while I read this story, I promise to stay and dance with you afterwards, all right? All right. So everybody be quiet. This is called Miss Spider's Tea Party, and it was written by David Kirk, and it has amazing illustrations, and hopefully you'll see them on TV. I love you too. Come on, you guys. Please. All right, here I go. Well, now I'll just wait until you all shut up.
Do it, baby!
All right. One lonely spider sipped her tea while gazing at the sky. She watched the insects on the leaves and many flying by. If I had friends like... All right, I'm going to start again because I don't want to be interrupted, you guys. Come on. Have some respect. I will go if you don't shut up. All right, here I go. One lonely spider sipped her tea while gazing at the sky. She watched the insects on the leaves and many flying by. If I had friends like these, she sighed, who'd stay a while with me, I'd sit them down on silken chairs and serve them cakes and tea. Two timid beetles, Ike and May, crept from the woodwork that same day. But when Miss Spider begged, please stay, they shrieked, oh no, and dashed away. 3 fireflies flew inside that night, their spirits high, their tails alight. They spied the web and squeaked in fear, we'd better get away from here. The little trio did not feel they'd care to be a spider's meal. 4 bumblebees buzzed by outside. Please come to tea, Miss Spider cried. The 4 ignored her swaying there. She waved a tea towel in the air. She took a cup and tapped the glass. Then one bee spoke to her at last. We would be fools to take our tea with someone who's so spidery. Okay, hold on. Within the shadows of the room, just peeking from behind a broom, 5 grinning faces bobbed and peered. Miss Spider smiled. Her heart was cheered. Descending for a closer look, she danced into the gloomy nook, but sadly found those jolly mugs belonged, alas, to rubber bugs. Some ants strode in, they numbered 6, but ants with spiders will not mix. She brewed them tea from hips of roses. The proud platoon turned up their noses. A fine bouquet concealed its prize of 7 dainty butterflies. Miss Spider, watching from the wall, was not aware of them at all. The tea table was set for 8, with saucers, cups, and silver plate. The cakes were fresh, the service gleamed. Yet no one would arrive, it seemed, her company in no demand, left her a cup for every hand. 9 spotted moths kept safe and warm, in shelter from a thunderstorm. They stood beneath an open sash and watched the jagged lightning flash. Miss Spider dropped down on a thread, a silver tray above her head. She'd hoped to please them, but instead, they flew away in mortal dread. "They've left me all alone," she cried. She dabbed her eyes and sadly sighed. "It's plain no bug will ever stay." Her tears splashed down upon the tray. 10 tiny steaming cups of tea were perched atop her trembling knee. She sipped and sobbed, then heard a cough, and turned to see a small wet moth. A fragile thing so soaked by rain, his wings too damp to fly again. She smiled and took a checkered cloth to cloak the frail and thankful moth. They talked and snacked on tea and pie until his tiny wings were dry. Then lifting him with tender care, she tossed him gently in the air. The moth told Ike, then Ike told May, who went from bug to say, "There is no reason for alarm. She never meant us any harm." So later on that afternoon, assembled in the dining room, 11 insects came to tea to share Miss Spider's courtesy. 12 tender violets in a vase, presented at Miss Spider's place. Set by her chair so neatly spun, she munched the blossoms one by one. Her friends were glad to watch her feast upon the floral centerpiece. It was a great relief to see she ate just flowers and drank just tea. Miss Spider's reputation grew. Before too long, our hostess knew each bug who crawled or hopped or flew, and all their lovely children too. And the moral to this story is, don't judge a bug until you know her. Sweet dreams.
Well, I don't think there are any words for that. There just aren't no words. Now let's recap. So far, we've seen a mega mix of Madonna's greatest hits. We've heard her read a bedtime story. What could possibly be next? She's got a new video out. The last one she did was done in Ronda, Spain, as you may remember, very naturalistic. It had bullfighters, bulls, this and that. This one is very, very different, directed by Mark Romanek. It's an amazing piece of work. Here it is, Bedtime Story, Madonna.
Today is the last day that I'm using words. They've gone out, lost their meaning, don't function anymore.